So in therapeutic horsemanship classes, you will actually, when you're working with in a therapy riding program, you will have the rider ride horses. And so as they're riding, you want a gait that's going to actually help to be physically beneficial if you're dealing with physical disabilities, even some speech-related issues. And so again, that gait of the horse is so important. So typically what we're looking at gait-wise is those symmetrical gaits. Those ones where what you see on one side as the horse brings this leg forward is the exact same thing that happens on the other side. The same amount of distance as it comes forward, the same length, the same height as it brings its leg up should be symmetrical, okay? And so the gaits we're looking at are common gaits are obviously the walk and trot. You may even say common gaits such as the pace, if we're talking about like a standardbred harness horse, or you may be looking at some of the gaited horse gaits, which are like a faster version of the walk, such as the running walk by the Tennessee walking horse, or the foxtrot by the Missouri foxtrotter. All of those are symmetrical, so we're working both sides of the rider's bodies equally, versus an asymmetrical gait, like for example, the canter, or the gallop. In that case, what happens is the horse leads with one side. So let's say we're tracking to the left and these legs are on the inside of that circle. They're going to stretch out farther. They're going to lead farther than the other side, the outside. Okay, so they're going to stretch out. So it's an asymmetrical gait. That asymmetry is to help them balance because the canter and the gallop are a faster gait. So it helps to balance them through those turns. But ideally in our therapy programs, our therapeutic horsemanship programs, we're not really looking for that particular type of gait. Even like your hippotherapy, we're typically going to keep it a walk because it's slower. It has that three-dimensional motion as if the rider is walking. We may add in the more challenging classes for our therapeutic horsemanship, the faster gait, which is the trot. But again, it's faster, but it's still symmetrical. The negative side to trotting is, as you will note, is that it'll have where the horse will do a suspension phase, where all four legs will come up and then go back down. That is concussive for a rider. So if you have a rider, for example, that has back issues like myself, so I have a lumbar disc that is, again, bulging. I've got some sciatic nerve issues too. That concussion can be very detrimental for my health. So a highly suspended gait can cause additional problems. So usually I'm going to stay at a walk. If I want to speed it up, I might look at my gaited horse gaits. Like for example, my mountain pleasure horses perform a rack. And it really is just a faster walking gait. So that's kind of as simple as you might want to call it. And that helps for the rider. It challenges them a little, but it is not concussive and it is symmetrical. So there's many variations of gaits we can work with. For example, if you really do want to get the trot, but you don't want it to be as concussive, we could look at like the Western Pleasure jog performed like by such horses as my quarter horse here, Val. That gait is really low to the ground. The horse carries their head low, and the lifting and dropping is not as high. So it has less suspension, and really it's a slower, smaller gait, so that suspension phase is really short. So there's various gait we can select from. It really depends on the rider, what works the best for them, and the objective of the therapy program. But there's a lot of options that you can select from when you're setting up your therapy program and selecting the gaits that can be the most therapeutic for your horse or for your rider, utilizing the horse that you have.